My name is Sharon Clem, and today I'm going to lead you through a mini Vinyasa flow class. And in today's class, we're going to focus on hip opening. Now, the body has energetic centers called chakras, and when we're working on hip opening, we're actually working on opening up our awareness of our sacral chakra, or the Svadhisthana chakra. Our sacral chakra is the seat, or even our pelvis is the seat of our creativity. And if we're closed off from it, we might not be as connected to our true creativity and what we can offer the world. So we're going to start our practice on hip opening in child's pose. So here, go ahead and bring your big toes together and your knees apart. You're going to sit your hips back in child's pose. Letting your breath move low into your body. Letting your hips soften into the fold. And then you're going to extend the hands, bring the palms onto the floor, pushing into the palms. And now go ahead and push up to tabletop with your wrists underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. And we're going to tuck the toes and come into our first down dog of the day. Now, if you're tight in your hips, you may want to bend your knees so that you can lengthen the spine. With a long spine, then let your heels find the ground. You're spinning the eye of your elbows forward. Go ahead and pedal out your dog. And coming into stillness, letting your heels find the floor. You're creating a V where your hips are actually the point of the V. And you're going to lift the right foot up into a three-legged dog. And then you're going to bring your right heel towards your right hip and open up the leg into fire hydrant. Now, you don't want to let your shoulders open up to the right. Keep the shoulders neutral and parallel to the front of your mat. And on an in-breath, swing the right leg all the way through to a low lunge. And drop the back knee here, bringing both hands into the inside of the right thigh, the right foot. If this is enough, you can stay here. This is a pretty deep opening into the hips and the inner thighs. But if you want more, you can come down onto your elbows. Now, you don't want to sink into your shoulders. You want to push your forearms and your elbows down so that the spine is extended. Now go ahead and come up to your hands, pushing back so you're standing on your left knee, and you're going to extend the right leg and flex through the right heel, coming into half splits. You want to pull the right hip back and bring the left hip forward so your hips are parallel to the front of the mat. And here, lengthening the spine, bringing the back of the head, the crown of the head away from your shoulders, and then go deeper. From here, you're going to walk yourself up and come onto the right foot so you can get your balance. And then you're going to bring your right leg out to the side. Your right foot is pointing forward towards the front of the mat or the room. And then extend the left arm up. You're going to reach across and over to the right, over the right leg, coming into gate pose. And then you might feel a nice elongation through the left side of the body. And pushing back up, bring your right knee back underneath you. You're going to come onto your palms, tuck the toes, and come into plank.
Now, if you have sensitive wrists, you can always do plank from the knees, or you can tuck the toes and have the knees up, bringing the belly in towards the spine, pushing the floor away, really getting some heat going in your body. Now you can either come to push up or you can drop the knees and bend the elbows directly at the sides, and then coming down to your belly and pushing into the toes, straightening the legs, letting the kneecaps lift off of the floor, coming into Cobra. You're letting the back of the neck stay long and the shoulders are down away from your ears. And then from here, tuck the toes, push into the knees, and come back to downward dog. Of course, if any of this, if you want to break, you can come into child's pose. Let's do the second side. So you're going to lift the left foot. The left toes are pointing down towards the floor, really pushing through that left heel. So you don't want to open up the hip yet. Now bring the left heel towards the left hip and then open the left hip out to the side, but both arms, both shoulders are neutral. There's equal weight on the right and the left sides. And on an out breath, swing the leg all the way through to low lunge. Your left knee is right over your left ankle. You can extend through the right foot, Now, like I said before, you can stay here in low lunge, or if you want more, you can come onto the elbows in lizard. If you find that you're holding your breath, let breath out, let the jaw soften. The back of your head is aiming across the room, so you don't want to lift your gaze because that will tighten your neck. And then go ahead and push up to low lunge, coming all the way back up to standing. And now we're going to go into gate pose on the left side. So you're going to bring your left foot facing forward. Bring your left hand onto your left leg, extend the right arm up, and then reach over to the side. Now, if you lose your balance, you can always start over again. And reaching back up, bring both knees onto the floor, bring both palms onto the ground as well, tuck the toes, and come into plank. Once again, getting the heat going. You are not sagging. You don't want to sag the hips. You want to push down to the floor so the hips and the head and the heels are in one plane. You can fold the elbows right along the ribs and then push up into up dog. Of course, if this is too much on your back, you can always bring your knees down. And then tuck the toes and push back into downward dog. Oh, good job, yogis. Starting to open up the hips and wake up the pelvis. You're going to now go ahead and come into three-legged dog with the right leg. The toes are pointing down, and you're going to step it all the way through to crescent pose. Your right knee is right over your left. Push down to the legs and extend the arms up. The left toes are tucked. You might feel a nice opening through the front of the left pelvis. Now here, you want to use your balance, take your time, and you're going to, in one movement, bring the left knee up. So you're in one-legged mountain pose. I'm going to turn and face you. Here, you can always use a wall to help out, or you can also put a chair next to you to help with balance. Now go ahead and cross the left ankle over the right knee, and you're going to send your hips back, bringing the palms together at heart center. If you want more, you can bring your hands down to the floor. You should feel this on the outside of your left hip, lengthening through the back of the neck. And then with grace and ease and poise, you're gonna push through the right leg, come back to one-legged mountain pose. And here, now let's fold down. You're gonna swing your left leg behind you, bringing your hands to the ground and coming into standing splits. So you can use the wall here. Your toes are pointing straight down to the ground, so you're not opening up the hip. The hips are neutral. Lifting the left heel without opening up the pelvis. And now go ahead and bring the left foot down and hang in forward fold. You're gonna push down to the feet to come up. Extended mountain pose. And bringing the hands down through heart center. And resting here, feeling how the legs feel different, hips feel different. So from here, you're going to step your right foot back and your left toes are going to point forward, and your right foot is on a 45-degree angle while your left knee is on top of your left ankle. Now go ahead and extend the arms out to the side. The chest is open a little bit towards the corner of your mat. You're reaching both hands away from one another in Warrior Two. Letting your left knee fold just a little bit more. And the back leg, your right leg, is extended, so you're not letting it bend or collapse. And then here, you're gonna bring your left elbow to your left knee, swinging the right arm underneath to come into side angle. Now, we don't wanna fold at the waist. We really wanna send the hips back, and there's one line of energy from the right ankle all the way out through the right fingertips. And now you're gonna push into your left foot, facing the front of the mat, coming into a straddle position. And now we're going to you're gonna fold at the hip joints right down here. Bring your hands to your waist. You can bend the knees just a little bit as you come into a forward fold. Bring both hands to the floor and extend the spine, lengthen the spine, and come deeper into your forward fold. Go ahead and bring your hands to your hips, coming back up to standing. And then you're going to come back to the front of your mat and folding down to plank pose. So once again, if you have had enough, you can bring your knees down and hang out in plank here. You can rest in child's pose. You're going to bend the elbows straight back along the sides of the ribs and pushing up into downward dog. The knees are lifted off of the ground if you're in, upward dog. And then tuck the toes, come back to downward dog. We're gonna do the same thing on the left side. Go ahead and extend the left heel. Toes are facing down. You're gonna bring the leg all the way through to low lunge. The toes on the left side are pointing directly forward. You're up on your toes on the right side and pushing down to come up into crescent pose. Now letting the pinky side of the arm face forward so that you open up the upper back. Your shoulder blades slide away from one another. And then you're going to come up to one leg, bringing the right knee up into one-legged mountain pose. I'm actually going to face you. You're going to cross. Now go ahead and cross the right ankle over the left knee, extending the hips back, bringing the hands to heart center. You can feel this in the outside of the right hip. Now, of course, if you want to use a chair, use the wall for balance, that is perfectly fine. If you want more, you can bring your fingertips to the floor. Remember, it's never worth it to hold your breath. And then with ease and with care, you're going to push down through the left foot, come back up into one-legged mountain pose. On an out breath, go ahead and swing your right leg back behind you. Bring your hands down to the floor into standing splits. Your right toes are pointing down towards the floor. You can lift the right heel a little bit higher, but without opening up the hips. In, letting your right foot meet your left foot, hanging in forward fold. You're gonna let your knees, go ahead and let your knees bend just a little bit to roll up through the spine. And taking a moment in mountain pose. So now we're going to step our right foot forward and our left foot back. The left foot is going to be on a 45-degree angle. And you're really sending weight into the outside of the left foot. So the blade of your left foot is making contact with the floor. You're extending through that left leg. Lots of strength here. Right knee is over the right ankle, and extend the arms into warrior two. Now we don't want to let the arms sag. We want to have a lot of strength, a lot of energy moving through the arms. Collarbones are wide. And then bring your right elbow to your right thigh. Swing the left arm up underneath. One straight line from the left fingertips to the outside of the left foot. So you're not curling at the waist, you're really sending the hips back towards the left foot, lengthening through the underside of the right thigh. And then you're going to push through the right leg, coming to a forward fold, wide-legged forward fold. Hands on the hips. Moving on the out breath, you can let both hands come to the floor. You're going to fold your left knee and let your right foot point up towards the ceiling, Skadasana. And if you want, you can bring your hands either to your heart center. Your left heel if your left heel can find the ground, fantastic. It's a really nice hip opener for the inside of the thigh. And some of you may be standing here. This is also very beneficial. Go ahead and slide over to the right side, folding your right leg, letting the left toes point up towards the ceiling, hands to heart center or on the ground, wherever you have balance, extending the spine. And then you're going to walk yourself over to your left leg and stepping back into plank. You can come to half push-up, letting the elbows fold at the sides of the ribs, and coming into downward dog, pushing into the toenails. Your knees leave the ground. Your shoulders are down away from your ears. Tuck the toes. For downward dog. Good job, yogis. Now, go ahead. Extend the right heel behind you. You're gonna bring the right knee behind the right wrist, letting the right calf point out towards the left for pigeon. Now, if your hips are tight, you can either bring a blanket underneath your hips to keep them neutral, or you can come onto your back and do figure four on your back. And on an out breath, you're gonna let yourself fold over your right thigh and right calf. So really listening to your body. If something hurts or doesn't work for you, there's always a modification. Bringing your hands to the floor, pushing back up. You can move your blanket out of the way. Tuck your left toes and bring your right foot behind you for a three-legged dog. Shaking it out. Bringing the right foot down, and now extend the left foot behind you. Really strong arms. Let the left knee fold and come behind the left wrist for pigeon on the left side. Once again, of course, you can use the blanket underneath your hip or come onto your back. And extend the spine in reclining pigeon. Bring your hands back to the floor and push up. Tuck the right toes to bring the left foot behind you. Shake it out. And now we're going to come down to the knees. Cross the ankles or swing them around to the sides. And you're going to roll onto your back. Good job, yogis. Now, bring your feet up with your knees bent. You can either hold at your shins, your ankles, or the outsides of your feet for happy baby. This is one of my favorites. Good, rock side to side. Giving your sacrum a little massage. The sacrum is the bottom of the spine. And extend your legs. With your legs extended, you're going to enjoy Shavasana. Maybe take your blanket or your bolster underneath your knees. That can also help the low back release. Noticing that your breath is moving your torso from the inside. And maybe as you let go through the pelvis, you might even notice the movement of your breathing down into your pelvis. And wiggle your fingers and your toes. Roll to your favorite side. Push up to a seated position, maybe cross-legged. And extending the arms overhead. Bring the palms down to heart center. As we wake up to our sacral chakra, may our creativity fill this world with beauty and passion. And we'll bring the thumbs up to the third eye and bowing for Namaste.